Graham Flanagan Investigates. Created and written by Rob Chantler. Episode 1. Dead Priests. The killer's gloved fist thumps 3 times against the front door of Father O'Shaughnessy's home. After a brief pause, the elderly priest answers and is shot in the head. The killer pushes their way in, slams the door, and begins their work. Meanwhile, D.I. Graham Flanagan is having a quiet evening sitting on his houseboat terrace, listening to jazz, smoking a joint, drinking wine, and casually throwing bread to some ducks. His phone rings. He grudgingly answers it. Flanagan. Bob, what you ringing me for this time of night? If you want a bedtime story, why don't you ask Flo?
There's been a murder, sir. A priest killed in his home.
Well, the body won't be going anywhere tonight, so keep a couple of guards on duty, and I'll amble over tomorrow. Where are you?
23 Brook Street, sir.
Right. Now stop calling me feckin' sir all the time. I'll sort it out in the morning.
But...
This would be a great job if people didn't keep getting murdered every 5 minutes. The next morning, Graham arrives at the crime scene. The house is sealed off with crime scene tape. A police car is outside and 2 constables by the door. A small crowd has gathered on the other side of the road. Graham turns to look at the people and sees Jeremy. Graham wanders into the house and nods at his sergeant Bob. He goes into the front room.
Slept well?
Yes, Bob, once I put the phone down on you. By the way, I saw Jeremy from Jenny's group in the small crowd outside.
Significant?
Maybe.
We think this is one of the alleged paedophile priests.
Doubtless explains the doll up the arse touch. No damage to the door. Seems our victim let the killer in. The only forced entry is that doll, I should think.
Theatrical, isn't it?
Yes, might help to solve the case. I really need a good result on this. Things aren't so great just now.
Why? You in trouble?
Only inside, Bob. Only inside. 1 week earlier. Jenny Harris freewheels at speed along the waterfront, alighting before her bike even stops. She chains it to the post outside Paws Cafe. Throwing her shawl over her shoulders, she theatrically enters as regulars duck to avoid her gaze. Looking round, she sees Shona and sweeps towards her. Shona is sitting at a table on her own, drinking a cappuccino.
Shona! Yoo-hoo! Shona!
Oh, God. Ha ha ha. Hello, Jenny. Wasn't expecting you.
Well, nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition.
True.
Can I join you?
Sure.
Oh, thanks, Pat. 2 coffees, please.
Well, I'm still drinking.
Oh, I'm going to Declan Killy's book signing tonight. He's fantastic.
Oh, yes. He loves himself a bit, doesn't he?
Oh, I'm so excited.
You want me to join your group?
Yes, we need everyone we can to expose the cover-up.
Protesting is not my thing, Pet, but good luck to you.
If you join, as a welcome gift, I'll tell you all about Maeve's bladder problems. You know, her on the fruit stall in the market.
How do you know about her problems?
She was telling Aoife on the bus, Pet. I wasn't listening, I just overheard.
Right, well, sorry, Pet. I don't want to know, and I don't want to join. Let's talk about other things.
That evening, at Chapter's bookstore, local hack Declan Killy is sitting at a table, surrounded by copies of his book, The God of Journalists, and a small queue are lining up to have their copies signed. Michael and Jenny are queuing. There are a few customers not in line, just browsing generally. Michael's turn comes and he addresses Declan.
Declan, remember me? Michael O'Connor.
Oh yes, vaguely. You were at Trinity when I was there, weren't you?
Yes, and I see you found a job despite your shitty degree.
Completely unable to hold down the most ordinary of jobs, but he was consequently advised to take up journalism.
What?
Geoffrey Bernard isn't well.
Whatever.
Do you want your book signed?
Why not? After the signing, can we have a quick chat? I want to ask a favour. I'll be waiting outside.
Oh, I am Jenny Harris. Oh, Declan, it's so wonderful to meet you. You inspired me to become a journalist and campaigner. I think you're wonderful. Well done on your book, well done. And on your articles on the paedophile priests.
Well, thank you. And I know you're campaigning to expose the church covering up paedophile priests too. I've seen some of your stuff. It's very good.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, I'm so honoured.
Thank you, Jenny.
Sorry for fangirling. Please stay in touch.
Sure.
He smiles warmly, and Jenny gives a hint of a curtsy and leaves excitably. After the book signing, Declan wanders outside where Michael is waiting. Declan sees him, wanders over and lights up a cigarette.
So, come on then. Tell me what you want.
I'm trying to trace a priest who worked at the boarding school I went to. I only knew him as father, and I hoped you could confirm some names and give me addresses.
What school?
St Agnes.
Swing by the newspaper office tomorrow and I'll see what I can do. I'm at the Herald.
All right, I'll be seeing you.
Michael walks off into the street, leaving Declan casually continuing to smoke. Declan checks his reflection quickly in the shop window and adjusts his coat, and then heads off in the opposite direction.
You're very late again, Michael. They'll not be paying for all this overtime you...
What's it got to do with you? You must know I wasn't working. I went to Declan's book signing to ask him about some stuff.
Who?
Declan Kelly, the journalist. We sort of knew each other at uni.
What did you want to ask him about?
That's my business. Is my dinner ready?
It was made an hour ago. You'll have to microwave it, won't you? You're not fecking too.
Don't talk to me like that.
Oh, well, what? Gonna hit me again, are you? You come home late, have a strop, have your dinner without so much as a thank you, and then you go to O'Leary's and get drunk and roll in stinking of booze at 2 a.m, and I'm fecking sick of it.
I work late for a reason. I don't do it for fun. But it will pay off, you know, and soon.
For you?
For me, for us.
For us? Bollocks, everything's always about you.
Shut up!
We need a bigger house for one thing, Liam needs a bigger bedroom, and I need a study, and you keep turning down every place I suggest.
I know we need a bigger house, and we'll find the right one soon enough, so stop going on, woman.
Don't you women me, you little shite. I'm fecking sick of you giving out all the time. If you're not careful, you'll be sleeping in the fecking garden.
Michael arrives unannounced at the Herald, intent on seeing Declan.
Well, come for your information, have you?
What do you think? The priests.
St Agnes priests, if I remember.
Yes, I went there. I need to find Father.
Yes, well, lots of underprivileged kids went there, or passed through there at some time. I went briefly and vaguely remember Father. I try to forget about it.
Well, I have possible names from the Public Records Office, but don't have addresses. Well, probably not current. I wondered if you did.
Why?
Well, we're thinking of buying a bigger house and don't want to move in next to a paedophile priest.
Right.
Your articles, and yes, I've read them, seem to suggest they're living around here, so can you help me?
Look, I only have 2 priests who are St Agnes's on my radar.
Okay.
Father O'Shaughnessy and Father Flaherty. Either of those names ring any bells?
Well, they're 2 of the names I've found, but whether either of them was Father, I don't know. We just called him Father, the one I need to know about. Well, everyone did. The other priests were Father this or Father that. He was just Father.
Flaherty's in Riverwood Gardens, but O'Shaughnessy's in the almshouse north of the city. All right, I'll write them down on a bit of paper and give them to you. You tell anyone I gave you these, or mess up my reporting, you'll wish you hadn't.
Shona is relaxing on the sofa. Their son Liam is on her lap. Michael is sitting at the other end of it, and there's a big cushion between them.
I saw this house today up for sale. Nice area, big too, massive garden, home office, 3 bedrooms.
What's the kitchen like?
Lovely, the estate agent said. We're going to see it the weekend.
Right, well, I hope we get a...
Oh, you'll love it.
Why now?
This one feels right.
Well, we do need a bigger house.
Lovely, right, I'm off to O'Leary's to celebrate.
Fine, just don't wake me up when you get back at whatever hour, all right?
The following day, Graham is roused by a knock on the window of his houseboat. He's listening to Miles Davies. He sees Bob peering in, waves his arms to clear the haze and gestures Bob in. Bob enters.
I'm here because you're a little late for work and Danielle was worried.
How late is late?
Oh, just 5 hours, you know.
Right, so. I'll just finish this joint and then I'll be with you.
You shouldn't smoke cannabis, sir.
Well, I do. And sometimes I cross-dress as well, alright? You nagging fecker.
I really think we should be going, sir.
Whatever. Is there a new case or something?
I think we're just vetting people, sir.
Oh, great. Graham slowly stands and liberally sprays himself with body spray without getting undressed. Then he and Bob clamber ashore and begin walking along the towpath.
You need a partner, sir, to keep you on the straight and narrow.
No, I don't. I've got the ducks.
That custody sergeant's got her eye on you, you know.
What, Annie? The tide wouldn't take her out. Anyway, I like to keep myself to myself.
You're too accommodating of Flanagan. He's lazy and feckless, and I know he smokes weed. And how many DIs do you know who slum it on an old barge? The last 2 cases he had, his sergeant solved the bloody things. I don't know why I haven't got rid of him.
I will talk to him.
You'd better.
Come in. God, look at the state of you. Good job you missed James. You just fallen out of bed?
Oh, the joys of CID. Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. It's fucking afternoon. The chief super's been whinging about you, about what you said about some minister or other. He's gunning for you, you know.
He's always gunning for me. James is a stuck record. He could bore a hole in a breeze block wall.
I have a list of names of people who seem to be stirring the shit, stoking all these social media allegations about paedophile priests living in the area. We need insight into which ones to monitor. Go through the names and report back. You can go, Phillips. I want a quick word with your boss.
I'll be in your office, sir, waiting for you.
With Barry White and some candles, presumably. Oh, I've never had a Labrador, but if I did, it would be just like Bob.
Look, can I call you Graham?
Yeah, I've been called worse.
Yeah, I bet.
Can I call you Danielle?
No. Look, if I seem not to care, and if I have a go at you, it's because it's expected. It's nothing to do with your off-the-grid eco lifestyle, if that's what you like. It's more about the smoking, drinking, lateness and scruffiness that'll do for you, especially if James has his way.
I do like being inspector. I just wish people didn't keep getting murdered every 5 minutes. Brings me down.
You wouldn't have a job if people didn't get murdered every 5 minutes. I know I've only known you about a year, but you seem to have fallen out of love with what you do. I mean, you've always let Phillips do all the work and taken the credit. You've definitely got worse.
You think?
Yes. Look, I know you're a good person, okay? And you joined to make a difference. I know you look after every duck in Dublin. Fine. I haven't got an issue with that. It's the pot and the attitude that I have an issue with.
All right, I smoke cannabis, but it's prescribed. It's not illicit. And I smoke it because it helps me with my PTSD.
PTSD?
Post-traumatic.
Yeah, I know what it is. Do you know why I left the Met and ended up here? PTSD.
Sorry.
I thought after what happened, a new start. New job, new country, leave the bad memories and the baggage behind me. People here think I'm some hard as nails, uncaring Londoner straight out of the Sweeney or whatever. But I'm not.
All right, you're right. I have fallen out of love with the job.
Why?
I try not to admit it to myself, but most of the light bulb moments that solve the cases are Bob's, and they should be mine.
What made you want to join the Garda?
The desire to bring bad people to justice and see that justice done. Sadly, it doesn't always happen, and lately it sure hasn't.
One case, Graham. One case. You knew he'd get off, being that high up in the government. Think of the other bad people you helped put away.
Help to?
I'm not saying you couldn't do it without your sergeant, but I just think you should give him a bit more credit. I know you're supportive of Phillips in his desire to be an inspector, and although you take the credit for his work most of the time, he thinks the world of you. You know that, don't you?
Well, I think the world of him too.
Fine. Now, forget about the losses and think about the wins. Imagine how good you'd feel about yourself again if you were the one in the partnership who had the light bulb moment, eh? Maybe that'd help you later rest some of your personal ghosts. By the way, if your cannabis is prescribed for medical reasons, your smoking it is one less thing for James to get rid of you for. I'll be sure to tell him if that's all right with you.
Sure. If you don't mind me asking, what happened in London that gave you the PTSD?
I was a copper, and so was my husband. We got called to a domestic in East London somewhere, but it was a set-up. We got fired at, and he was killed in front of me, and there was nothing I could do.
Oh, sorry. Would you like a hug?
Thank you, Graham. You won't tell anyone, will you?
No, Mum. Gossiping's too much effort. I suppose I'll have to tell you my story now.
When you're ready. You'll know when the time is right.
Jenny Harris.
Oh, Gossip Girl's on the list, is she?
Gossip Girl?
A TV show, sir. Jenny's Dublin's most famous gossip. She's also a fervent campaigner who loves to stir things up.
Oh, right. Next. Declan Kelly.
Oh, right, the journalist.
Right.
You do live in Dublin, don't you, sir?
Just because I don't know every campaigner and journalist doesn't mean I'm not in the loop, Bob.
Anyway, Killy's been writing inciting stuff about some priests, threatening to name and shame them because he alleges they're paedophiles.
I'm going for a smoke.
We've only been here 10 minutes. Wait, look! Out the priests!
Oh, now this is a bit more like it.
Vitriolic rants accusing the church of covering up abuse, naming specific people like Bishop Fitzpatrick, inciting protests.
Does she do it all on Facebook? Or?
No, sir. She has weekly meetups at her house. There's one tonight, in fact.
Okay, well maybe I'll go incognito and see what they're like and who turns up. She won't know me.
A good idea. Might see people who aren't group members on Facebook. I don't think there's a dress code.
Feckin' Well, I'm going to get ready. You look into Declan Kelly for me, all right?
All right, sir, but I'm leaving on time. I promised Florence I would. One day, I'll get the limelight I deserve.
Jenny is swanning round her lounge, making sure everything's spotless. She starts plumping up cushions and turning chairs round, and then hears the doorbell. She is a little flustered, so composes herself, swans to the door, and flings it open.
Yes, Pet?
I've come to see what your group's like, because I was thinking about joining the cause, you know. I'm Graham.
Right, well, come in, Pet. You're the first. Go into the lounge and I'll bring you some tea.
Thanks. Jenny shuts the door and goes into the kitchen. Graham wanders slowly round in the lounge, looking around and taking stock of the place. Jenny brings him his tea.
Here we are. Pick your seat and enjoy.
Thanks. The scene morphs into the same scene slightly later, but now the others have assembled, and Jenny sits on her bar stool at the front, and very diva-ishly she begins the meeting.
Welcome everyone to the weekly group. To some, a new welcome. Lovely to see the group growing every week. And to some, welcome back. Lovely to see you again. So let's begin. And give you the chance to say whatever drives your passion for the cause. Who'd like to start? Oh, Jeremy, lovely. The floor's yours.
Those priests destroyed my life. Do you know what one of them said to me when he showed me his cock?
No, pet.
Gaze upon the work of the Lord.
Oh, Jeremy, that's disgusting.
I'd like to kill that priest and ram something right up his arse. I'd like to kill the lot of them. I love this group in your campaign. Let's bring them to justice.
Graham?
Not all priests are paedophiles. Most are good. Don't you worry that your campaign will tar them all with the same brush.
No, of course. Some priests are all right, but in my opinion, many are not. And I'd hoped you'd be sympathetic to our cause, Graham. But if you're not, well, you're entitled to your views, but perhaps this isn't the group for you. Don't forget to come and find me and sign up. Graham! Woo, Graham!
Oh, Jesus.
So, can I change your mind and sign you up?
Well, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll come again and make a decision.
How's things?
Yeah, okay, I guess.
Michael's not hitting you again, is he?
No, he's not, but I need to talk about him.
Well, fine. First, why don't I tell you the latest campaign news? I have a new sales pitch.
Go on then, I know I'm going to hear it.
Are you worried about the paedophile priests living in our neighbourhood? Are you angry that the church spent years covering it up at the highest levels? Well, I am. And lots of other people are too, or they wouldn't keep joining my group, would they? Why don't you join my group? We have meetings at my house every week, and it has a Facebook page as well.
Right. Well done for what you're doing, and I'm still not going to join.
It's all thanks to Declan. Oh, Declan Killy. What a brilliant journalist. He was my inspiration. I'm a journalist because of him.
He only writes for the Herald.
I don't even write for the Herald. Anyway, he's single and looking for some romance, I reckon. If he met the right woman.
Don't be starting with the matchmaking, please. Michael's...
We're going to have a massive demonstration soon, Pet. Marching through the streets with banners and megaphones and everything. We're going to get on TV and everything.
I would like your thoughts on Michael.
Oh, yes.
We've been looking for a house for ages, but he turns down everything I suggest. Now, all of a sudden, he's found one which he insisted we had, and when we went to view it, he basically bought it. We're all viewing it at the weekend.
Is he happy?
Like Tigger, Jenny. Beaming with excitement. I know something's going on, but he shuts me out when I try to ask and gets all aggressive if I don't shut up, so I do. Is he up to something, do you think?
Well, I don't know what to say, Pet. I mean, Michael's Michael, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Michael pays a visit to Bishop Fitzpatrick. His housekeeper shows him into the study and closes the door behind them.
Come in, Mr. Connor. Take a seat.
Thank you for seeing me, Your Grace.
Pleasure. What can I do for you?
I'm in charge of the archives at the Public Records Office, and I'm currently cataloguing the data we have concerning the Catholic Church and local area. We have material going back to the 1960s, but there seems to be some important information missing. I was hoping you could fill the gaps.
Well, it all depends on what you want to know.
There was a priest who seemed to be very much at the heart of things for many decades, Father Sean Flaherty. Given how well known he seems to have been, I'm sure there could be people who want to know more, and I'd like to have that information. He worked at the local Catholic boarding schools in Agnes. He was there in the 80s and he left there, but there's no information as to why.
Right, well, when it comes to individual priests, we have to be more careful. Did you know I've been pestered by some grabby local hack, Declan Killy?
No, Your Grace, I didn't.
Well, Father Flaherty isn't ministering anymore. He left the church altogether, in fact. Normally when a priest leaves, we destroy their records. There's no point in keeping them, really. He wasn't that prominent in the church, apart from running St. Agnes for a while. I can't think why anyone would be interested. I mean, I can tell you about where he ministered and things like that, but when it comes to why he left, I'm afraid that sort of thing remains confidential.
Why? What are you hiding?
Nothing. You can take my refusal to tell you however you want, but I'm not going to go into details about things like that. Sorry.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Michael is very excited and happy. He glances across at the next door house and sees a figure at the window. The figure recoils, pulling the curtains. Liam runs up to their new house. Shona stands, looking at it and glancing occasionally at Michael, who is staring towards it. The elderly Father Flaherty is at his window. He sees Liam and starts to hyperventilate. He reaches for his whiskey bottle, pours himself a large glass and sits in his wing-back chair. Michael walks up the path and knocks on the door. He sees the front room curtain lift slightly and then is hurriedly returned to its place. There is a silence. Michael rings again. The door opens and the elderly priest looks at him. Yes?
I'm Michael, your new neighbour.
Oh, well, you'd better come in. Flaherty is followed in by Michael, who shuts the door behind him. The front room is littered with religious artefacts. A statue of the Virgin Mary is on the mantelpiece and a portrait of her is on the wall. A Bible lies open on a table with rosary beads placed on it. A wooden cross is on another shelf. There is some comfortable furniture and a drinks trolley with whiskey and glasses. Michael and Flaherty are sitting, and both are holding whiskey glasses. You know I'm a Catholic, then?
Yes?
You a Catholic yourself?
No. Oh, I like the idea of confession, though. You priests must be on your knees your whole lives.
Well, we've all done bad things in the eyes of the Lord, have we not, Michael?
Some maybe, not me.
So you have a family?
Yes, Shona, my wife, and my son Liam.
Well, I don't care much for children.
Oh, why?
Doesn't matter.
A Catholic priest doesn't like children. We should have you stuffed.
What makes you think I'm a priest?
Well...
Lots of Catholics have images of the Holy Mother and rosary beads and things.
But you are, though, aren't you?
All right, I am. Yeah. Well, was. I had to leave the church. I did so of my own volition, and if you don't mind, I'd rather not dwell on my time ministering in it.
Well, thanks for the whiskey. I'll see myself out.
Dinner will be a while. I had to unpack the kitchen things.
Feck's sake.
What was the neighbour like, by the way?
Catholic priest. Well, he was.
Right.
What's wrong?
Nothing, just thinking.
Stop thinking, start cooking.
It's in the oven. You can have it half cooked and shit yourself to death if you want, you impatient fecker, or wait till it's cooked.
Don't you?
He stops suddenly as Liam enters.
Why don't you sit down, sweet? It's about a minute to go.
Liam sits in his place. Shona starts putting dishes and cutlery out. Michael is sitting. Looking like he's in a daydream, Shona slams his dinner down in front of him. Liam already has his.
Oi, you wanted your dinner? Why don't you feckin' eat it?
Shona walks up the path of Flaherty's house and knocks. She waits, getting no response, and knocks again. We see the curtain in the front room twitch, and then it's replaced. Shona notices. She continues to wait. Then she hears someone coming to the door, which slowly opens. Flaherty peers round the edge and then opens it wider.
Yeah?
Hello, I'm Shona, from next door.
Are you now? Michael sent you round to snoop a bit more?
No, it's just, well, Michael came round yesterday, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
I told him not to, but he wouldn't listen, and he can be a bit overbearing, so I just came to apologise, really.
Well, thank you, my dear, but as I hope you can understand, I just want to be left alone, so I don't want Michael, or you, or your son coming round, okay? He really unsettled me, you know?
Yes, of course.
I can't be near children. Their presence makes me unwell.
Oh, right. Why is that?
Something from the past. Traumatic, you know.
You know, when I was at Jenny's place, there was one man there, really angry. Jeremy, he was called. Going on about how he wanted to kill priests and ram stuff up their arses.
Charming.
He was a shit-stirring type if ever there was one. I wonder how many more the group has like him, who maybe weren't there or just kept quiet.
Well, I guess we could look at each member of the Facebook group's posts to find out more about them.
Well, I suppose it would work for the Facebook members, but some of them might not be on it.
True. Well, I'll think about what to do.
Right, I'm off to the boat. We'll sort it out in the morning. Flanagan. Bob, what you ringing me for this time of night? If you want a bedtime story, why don't you ask Flo?
There's been a murder, sir. A priest killed in his home.
The present.
So, there'll need to be a press conference, and before the press conference, make sure you tidy yourself up. And wear a tie.
I hate wearing ties. The only thing worth doing with ties is strangling the fecker that invented them.
Appraise me.
At about 10 p.m. last night, the priest opened his door to someone. He was dragged into the front room. Then the killer put a handgun in his mouth, blew his brains out, bled him, wrote, "Gaze upon the work of the Lord," on the wall in his blood, and then shoved a Barbie doll head first up his ass.
Yes, well, don't put it quite like that at the press conference. I mean, definitely not the doll up the arse. Just say post-mortem acts were performed. That way we can rule out the nutters who'll come forward claiming they did it.
Good point.
Jeremy!
Who?
Of course, the man at Jenny's group. How could I have forgotten that?
Weed.
There was a man at Jenny Harris's campaign group called Jeremy. He said this priest said that phrase to him.
And he said he'd like to ram stuff up the priest's, bums.
Oh, don't be such a prude, Bob. Just say arseholes like everyone else.
Phillips is more polite than you.
And he was in the crowd opposite the house when we attended the murder scene.
Before I had you, Bob, the sergeant I had was feckin' useless. He used to be a private investigator, apparently, but he couldn't find a matching pair of socks. But you, my faithful old Bob, are the Rolls Royce of sergeants. And one day, you will rise to the lofty heights of inspector.
Florence is honoured me to develop my career, and I feel I'd be a good inspector, but I need your blessing. I don't want you to think I'd be stabbing you in the back.
Not at all, Bob. If that's what you want, you go for it. You'll make a fine inspector.
Thank you, sir. Now, let's have another look at the Facebook group pictures, because if he's there, you're sure to spot him.
Jeremy's a line of inquiry worth pursuing, especially as he mentioned what he'd like to do to them.
Well, have you made any progress on this police murder, Flanagan?
Yes, sir. We have 3 possible suspects.
Have you interviewed them?
Not yet, sir.
Have you arrested them?
Not yet, sir.
But what are you waiting for, Christmas?
We'll get round to it. We have to lay the groundwork and gather the evidence.
I started in CID, don't mansplain the job to me.
Well,
at the press conference we'll say we're pursuing several lines of inquiry and we'll keep the exact crime details private.
All right, but I'm watching you, Flanagan.
Fuck off.
I don't think he heard you, sir.
Anyway, press conference tonight. Do what you need to do then. Go and get ready. Phillips.
Would you support my going for inspector?
Yes, Phillips. It'd be lovely to have a smart inspector who actually does some work and isn't a pot-addled layabout. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Ma'am.
Graham and Bob are looking at the laptop at the members of Jenny's Facebook group. There, back a couple. Yes, that's him. Jeremy Dean. Oh, Dr. Jeremy Dean. See what you can find out, where he lives, what he does, etc. And let me know in the morning.
What will you be doing, sir?
I, Bob, my faithful old Labrador, will be tinking.
Don't overdo it, will you, sir?
At approximately 10 p.m. on Tuesday night, Father Dermot O'Shaughnessy was murdered. We believe that Father O'Shaughnessy may have been targeted by someone believing him to be a paedophile priest. He was shot in the head, and then we believe the killer engaged in post-mortem acts, details of which we can't reveal at the moment. We're pursuing several lines of inquiry, but if you have any information, please call the number on the screen.
I think your stuff on the priest is brilliant. You're the reason I became a journalist.
I know, you gushed. I'm flattered. Anyway, you're pretty good yourself.
Oh, thanks. Yes, I'm flattered you know about it.
Well, I am a local journalist. I have to know stuff like that.
I got in touch with a producer at RTE, and she was pretty keen on the idea of a documentary about the cover-up and the campaigning and stuff. Now we've had a murder linked to it too. I bet it'll get the go-ahead.
Yes, I imagine it will.
You should front it. You're very telegenic. I put your name in the frame already.
Oh, right. Well, thanks.
You don't think the police will think I killed the priest because of my group, do you?
No.
Hope not.
I was contacted by an old associate out of the blue the other day. He wanted to know about some of the priests at this place called St. Agnes's. Michael O'Connor, his name is. He works at the Public Record Office. Do you know him?
Well, I know his wife Shona. She's a good friend, and she deserves so much better than him. He's a wife-beater, you know. Been done for it too.
Oh, I only asked because one of the names I gave him was Dermot O'Shaughnessy, and an address, and a week later, he's dead.
Why did he want to know about the priest?
He said it was to make sure that when he moved house, he wouldn't be near any priests who'd been suspected paedophiles. I never believed him, though. Seemed a strange reason.
Well, Shona told me the other day that Michael's bought a house and she thought he'd made a decision based on the fact that a priest lived next door.
Right. That's a bit strange, isn't it?
I think we should warn her. You know, tell her what we know.
Yeah, I suppose. Let's take my car. Do you know where she lives?
Yeah, not far.
Declan's car pulls up just as Shona arrives. Jenny goes over to her. Declan shuts the car up and wanders over.
Shona!
Jenny, hello.
That's Declan. Handsome, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess. Are you trying to set us up on a date?
Would I?
Yes.
Well, I'd love to go on a date.
Oh, Right, well, yes, well...
We just had a thought about Michael, Pet.
Michael?
He asked Declan to help him trace a priest. He found his address, and days later, he's found murdered. Well, with his temper and all, you know.
You think he killed him?
I don't know, Pet. I just thought you should know.
Oh, Declan, he's so possessive, so angry all the time. I know he's damaged. He's got more baggage than Ryanair. I just wish he'd let me in on it.
Sorry if me and Jenny worried you or put ideas in your head. Just know we're keeping an eye on things.
You and Michael go back away, don't you?
Well, we both went to Trinity, but that's where the similarities end.
I just can't help wondering if he bought this house because it was next door to a priest he wanted to target.
Oh, I don't know. Honestly, all I can tell you is that your neighbour's address went with one of the names I gave Michael.
Well, I guess he's still alive, so that's hopeful.
Absolutely.
Can we go out together again?
I'd love to. Put my number in your phone. Call me Catherine or something so Michael doesn't suspect.
All right, Catherine.
Graham is at his desk, lost in thought when Bob enters. He seems very excited.
I found out about Jeremy Dean.
Morning, Bob.
Oh, yes. Morning, sir.
What have you found out about Jeremy Dean?
He was a professor of psychology at Trinity. He still has an office there and lectures from time to time, MA from Oxford and a PhD from London. His research focused on reprogramming trauma victims. He was researching back in the late 80s and early 90s.
All good stuff to show we're making progress. Let's go and see the boss.
I didn't know there was a sign on my door that says just barge in.
We've got some news.
Is this about the mysterious angry man?
Jeremy Dean, yes. Bob, as you found out about him, do you want to,
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, well, he's a PhD. He works at Trinity. He's a psychology professor, and at the end of the 80s and into the 90s, he was experimenting on trauma victims, trying to reprogram them.
As in, like, brainwashing kind of thing?
Well, I'm no expert, but it has that vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah. Why not ask him to assist us with our inquiries? Maybe ask him about the rants at Jenny's group too, while you're about it.
I think I'll ask Jenny for interview too. Jenny.
Oh, you were at my group.
That's right.
And you're a detective.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Infiltrating my group, were you?
I was, yes. Can we sit over there and have a chat before you do whatever you are about to do? Given your group and your increasing vigilantism, I have to ask you to tell me more about how your group came to be.
I hope you don't think that I killed.
Not at the moment.
Look, I jump on bandwagons, okay? It makes me feel good being the centre of attention and hopefully doing good, exposing cover-ups and wrongdoing. I've got an RTE producer interested in the story too, so it's really gaining traction. I mean, the priest didn't do anything to me personally, it's the church.
But you did name Bishop Fitzpatrick, so it's not just the church you seem to be after, is it?
Well, I did name him, but only because he was in charge of the bit of the church that was involved in the cover-up.
Well, if you have an alibi for the night of the murder of Father O'Shaughnessy, it would certainly help.
Oh, heavens! I don't know where I am at any time. Oh, the perils of being a scatterbrain. Yes, well, I don't, so,
Tell me about the angry man at your group the night I was there.
Who, Jeremy?
Yes.
You think everyone's a killer, don't you? He always rants about that sort of thing.
So he's been before?
Yes, a few times. Long before any priest murders.
Well, if you think of anything.
Well, Declan Killy.
Declan Killy, the journalist?
Yes.
Are you two working together?
No, we just share an interest in the story. but he told me about a man who'd been pestering him for names and addresses of priests, and one of them was Father O'Shaughnessy. I mean, it might not be relevant, but... Michael O'Connor, an archivist at the Public Records Office.
All right, thank you. We'll be in touch. Bob, it's Graham. We have a new name. Michael O'Connor. I'll pay him a visit to the Public Records Office. You see what you can find out as well, all right? Great. Right, see you later.
Why did you buy this house? I want the truth now. None of your bullshit.
I like the house.
Bollocks, you bought a house because there's a priest next door.
That's rubbish. I didn't know he was a priest. I was just being a good neighbour. This discussion is over.
You told me you knew, and now a priest's dead. I know you bought it because of that priest. I don't know why you did, and I'll find out why if it kills me.
Stay out of it, or it just might.
Threaten me again and...
And what? What will you do?
Go to O'Leary's. Go on, fuck off.
That night at Bishop Fitzpatrick's house, there are 3 loud knocks on the door. The housekeeper opens the door and is shot in the chest. He falls backwards, dying instantly. She is stepped over and the killer enters the front room where the bishop is sitting on the sofa. He looks up and is shot in the head. The killer then drags the body off the chair onto the floor and begins their rituals. The following morning, Graham slowly wakes and reaches for a cigarette. He blearily looks at his phone and sees missed calls and messages from Bob. He dials in and listens. Then he hangs up. Graham enters the bishop's front room, turns to Bob and wanders over. The body of the bishop is in a pool of blood. He has a pool of now dried blood from the back of his head. A tube, with the end in a pool of dried blood, is stuck in his neck. He has a doll's legs poking out of his anus, and the phrase, "Gaze upon the work of the Lord," is written on the wall in his blood. Morning, Bob. Sorry I missed your calls. I was asleep.
Yes, well, don't worry, because I've been here all night.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate that.
Another press conference then, sir?
Oh, feck. You do it.
I'd love to.
Danielle won't care. You project a better image than me. And if she does mind, tough luck, eh?
Yes, sir.
As Graham and Bob wander out, they look across the street and see a small crowd. Jeremy catches Graham's eye and makes a hasty retreat. We're bringing him in for questioning, that's for sure. We need to bring Declan in too, and I need to see Michael O'Connor.
I agree with you that we're dealing with a serial killer. Someone who hates the church.
That narrows it down.
Don't be flippant.
Well, the crime scenes are almost identical. Alan said there was no forensic evidence at either. I asked if the dolls were anything special and he said they weren't. I talked to Jenny.
On the record?
On a bench. I think she's friendly with Declan and she lets on.
Definitely worth a formal interview. Here, preferably.
I'm sure there's a connection between the victims, not just that they're both priests.
Anything else?
Jenny did give me a name of interest, a new one.
Yes?
Michael O'Connor, archivist. Been on to Declan to get names and addresses of priests, including the details of the first dead one. He also went to see Fitzpatrick before his murder, obviously because his name was in his diary, our second victim. And Jeremy was in the crowd opposite Fitzpatrick's house too. And when I caught his eye, he scurried off. He'll be brought in for questioning too.
And what do we know about O'Connor?
Wife beater, been done for ABH and got a suspended sentence. A few years ago.
Well, I suppose that doesn't make him a serial killer, but I agree he's worth looking into a bit more. Glad to see you and Philippa are making some progress.
Maybe I'll look into possible connections when I'm seeing Michael. That'll save me an extra trip to the record office.
And where are we with regards to Jenny Harris?
She's got RTE interested in doing a programme about a campaign now. Just what we need.
If it compromises our investigation, we'll arrest her. Anyway, another press conference looms.
Please let Bob do it. It'll be good experience.
I agree, although I know it's not the real reason. Happy to do it, Phillips?
Yes, ma'am. Very happy.
Right, that's sorted then. I'm sure you'll do a brilliant job.
You know Jenny wanted us to go out together, don't you?
I guessed. She's a good journalist, but not my type.
Well, I'm glad I came here tonight. Oh my God, I could climb you like a tree. Sorry, I just came out.
Well, thank you.
Michael's always giving out about something or other. He thinks I'm a fucking slave. I'm absolutely sick of him. I think we should carry on seeing each other, don't you?
Absolutely.
You know, I finally gave in and joined Jenny's Facebook group.
Probably the best strategy when you're dealing with Jenny. Do you want to come back to mine for a coffee after dinner?
I guess. Yeah, why not? But coffee means coffee on a first date with me.
Sure.
What do you know about Michael and the priests?
The truth. Michael asked me for names and addresses. Seems he needs to track down a particular priest who worked at a Catholic boarding school he went to as a child. Lots of local boys did, whose parents were from, shall we say, a certain class. Even I did for a while, until Mam had a change of heart and got me out. Anyway, on the back of my articles, he tracked me down. I gave him what I had to get him off my back, and that's it.
And the priest next door to us?
Sean Flaherty. One of the names Michael wanted an address for, sure, but he hasn't been targeted, so...
Okay, thanks, Declan. I know you'll keep me in the loop.
I will. And I'll keep you safe as well.
Jenny's group members have gathered and Jenny is mingling when she hears the doorbell. She answers it to Bob.
Yes?
I thought I'd come and see what your group was like.
Oh, yes? So, Graham's sending his lackey now, is he?
How did you know?
You've got Garda written all over you.
Well, it's not you I want. I need to talk to Jeremy. I thought he might be here.
Oh, he is, Pet. Why don't you sit in, then you can tell your boss that I'm not an insurrectionalist. All right?
Fine, but I would really appreciate it if he could step outside with me for a minute, maybe, before you start.
Right. Okay. Jeremy, could you just have a few words with,
Bob.
Bob?
I suppose.
Dr. Jeremy Dean.
Yes. What's this all about? Who are you?
I'm Detective Sergeant Bob Phillips, and I'm arresting you on suspicion of the murders of Father O'Shaughnessy and Bishop Fitzpatrick. My colleagues are waiting outside, so if you'd like to come with me, and we can avoid any theatrics.
Bob opens the front door and gestures to Jeremy to lead the way. As they leave, they see a police car and officers ready to take them to headquarters. Bob returns to the house, opens the lounge door and beckons over to Jenny. She comes to the door and Bob quietly informs her that he has arrested Jeremy. Jenny looks shocked, but in the interest of discretion says nothing and returns to her group. Shona and Declan spent the night together. As the sun rises, Shona stirs and, bleary-eyed, pushes her side of the duvet away. Declan opens his eyes as she does so.
Morning.
Yes, morning.
Can I make you a coffee?
Why not? Have you got a spare robe and I'll wander down?
On the back of the bathroom door. Who the hell?
It might be Michael. I'd better hide.
Declan puts on his dressing gown and goes downstairs. Shona goes into the bathroom. Declan opens the door.
Yes?
D.I. Flanagan.
Shona wanders downstairs. Graham looks up and acknowledges her. She goes into the kitchen.
Be there in a minute. What do you want?
Who's that?
Just a friend. Stayed over.
It's about the priest murders.
Murders, plural. I didn't know there'd been another one.
A bishop.
Right. Was he molested like the last one?
How would you be knowing that?
You said so at the press conference.
Oh yes, so I did. Anyway, from what I hear on the grapevine, your articles, which are inflammatory enough, are about to cross the line.
Naming and shaming these bastards. Absolutely.
Well, first, if you do, you'll be arrested for inciting violence. Second, you're already on my suspect list for the murders.
What?
Can you account for your whereabouts when the priests were killed?
No, but I'd have been out partying or drinking, probably. The joys of being single and an Adonis.
You say so. Anyway, do you know Jenny Harris?
Yeah. Well, I know of her. Why?
Doesn't matter. Just thought I'd ask because she seems to know about you.
Look, just because we're both writing articles about the church covering up child abuse, it doesn't mean we're in bed together.
No, because you're in bed with your friend who's just left.
Shona? Yes, well, we're just friends.
Well, as a journalist, I'm sure you're good at finding out things. So if you find out anything that helps me with my inquiries, be sure to let me know. All right? The next day, Graham visits the Public Records Office and demands to see Michael. The receptionist obliges, and Michael attends him.
Yes?
Thank you for seeing me, Mr. O'Connor.
Well, what do you want?
If I could have anything you have on the local Catholic schools and the priests who work there, at least back to the 1970s. I don't think they could have been old enough to have been working before then.
Well, it's quite a lot, and microfiches too. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. O'Connor, very kind. By the way, Declan Kelly told me you were looking for a priest who worked with O'Shaughnessy and Fitzpatrick.
Did he? I see. Did you come here to accuse me of murder?
No, but since you mention it...
Well, I didn't. I'm not after either of those two. And when I say after, I don't mean out to kill them.
Will you be able to provide alibis?
Well, I've been at home or at Leary's. Anyway, that Declan's mouth's too big for his own good. And what's more, if you have the evidence, then arrest me. And if not, our meeting's over.
Graham and Bob enter the interview room where Jeremy is sitting anxiously. Bob closes the door and the two of them sit opposite Jeremy and start recording. D.I. Flanagan and D.S. Phillips interviewing Dr. Jeremy Dean.
Look, just because I go to a campaign group doesn't make me a killer.
I attended Jenny's group and heard your contribution, as you know. You seem very angry at what one of the priests did to you.
You'd be angry too if you were me.
There have been 2 murder priests since that meeting, and both had something rammed up their arses and written on the wall at both crime scenes was the same phrase you quoted at the meeting. Gaze upon the work of the Lord.
Look, these priests said this to lots of boys. This one in particular, he had his special boys. He said to all of them. One or two of them told me this while we were still at school.
Did you know Michael O'Connor?
No.
Why were you in the crowd after both murders?
Well, just nosy. Do you think everyone else in the crowd killed them too?
You also said you'd like to kill priests.
Doesn't mean I did. And I have a good lawyer, so I suggest you come up with something better if you want to charge me. Now I suggest you let me leave.
You'll leave when I say so. Bob, you had some questions.
You worked at Trinity College, did you not?
Yes, I am a professor there, psychology.
And you did some work, how can I put it, reprogramming people with classical conditioning.
Yes.
Tell me what that entailed and who you did it to.
I change behaviour by association. When someone's exposed to something they enjoy and it's paired with something they don't, an association forms that makes what they enjoyed no longer enjoyable. Thus the behaviour is extinguished.
Aversion therapy.
I suppose.
Did the church ever approach you to use some of these techniques on its behalf?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
That's none of your business.
Well, if you want to go, you'd better make sure it becomes my business. Bob and Graham stand and leave the room, leaving Jeremy behind. Outside the door they chat briefly.
We'll have to let him go, won't we, sir?
Sadly, yes. I wonder if he's just being difficult, or whether the church had him sign some sort of NDA.
Maybe.
Well, let's keep him waiting until he's brought his lawyer along. Then at least he'll have to have paid him.
Last night, at approximately 11 p.m, Bishop Fitzpatrick and his housekeeper were murdered at his house. We believe the housekeeper's death was collateral and that the killer was targeting the bishop. The manner in which he died and the post-mortem theatrics mirrored those of the previous murder, and we now believe we are dealing with a serial killer. However, it seems the killer is targeting priests, so we don't think there is a risk to the general public. We have several ongoing investigations into the murders, but any information would be much appreciated. Please call in confidence the number on the bottom of your screens. Thank you.
Good job, Phillips. Proud of you.
Declan openly said he was prepared to name and shame. I warned him that if he did, he'd be arrested, but I think he's prepared to do it. When I called, he'd spent the night with a lady friend, Shona, who looked a bit embarrassed. Anyway, I asked him how well he knew Jenny, and he just said he knew of her, and they weren't in bed together.
Well, it seems Jenny sure knows him.
They don't know that I know how closely they're working together, but I'm keeping that card close to my chest.
And your trip to the records office?
Yes, I met Michael. Scary bastard. Looks like he could kill someone right enough. He's built like Jack Reacher.
If he runs the archives, he'll be able to get names and addresses fairly easily, I should think. Makes me wonder why he needs Declan at all. Anyway, this Shona, is she significant?
No idea. Probably just one of his one-night stands. I'd know her if I saw her again. And Jeremy Dean's been released. His smart-ass lawyer saw to that.
Okay. Let me know if Shona turns up at Jenny's group.
Hang on, I'll just search the group. I can do it on my phone. Bingo. Shona O'Connor. That's definitely her. Joined the other day. Must be a late convert.
As in Michael O'Connor?
I suppose. It's a common name, though.
If she is Michael's wife, and he abuses her, I can see how she might want another man in her life. By the way, sir, Florence has asked you to dinner, Saturday at 8 p.m.
That's very kind. I'd love to come.
Don't call her Flo.
I'll be the perfect guest. That night, at Father Lane's house, the killer knocks 3 times. Father Lane opens the door and is shot in the head. The killer pushes their way in and slams the door. The next day, Graham and Bob walk in on the crime scene, which is the same as the previous 2. Serial killer for sure, Bob.
Agreed. Very ritualistic. All 3.
Either our killer has a long list, or he's just keen to get the job done.
There won't be any priests left at this rate.
Right, can you go into town and find Jenny? She's usually standing on a milk crate by the park. Then pay Declan a visit. I want a list of everyone he's contacted or worked with in connection with his articles. And tell him if he doesn't, he'll get slapped with a warrant. I need to rest a while. Oh, by the way, the press conference. Happy to do it again?
Any time, sir.
Organ Grinder's sending the monkey now, is he?
I'll ignore that. I know you're in a hurry, so I'll be brief. I will need a list of all your contacts, collaborators and sources in connection with your paedophile priest articles.
Well, journalists don't reveal their sources, so you can tell your boss, who doubtless sent you, that he can whistle for it.
We will issue a warrant to seize material if you won't share it voluntarily.
Fine. Now I have to go. I have a story to cover.
Do you have an alibi for last night?
Yes, as it happens. I had a friend stay over.
Jenny?
What can I do for you, Sergeant?
Another priest was murdered last night. Given your interest in the priests, I have to ask you if you have an alibi for last night.
No, I was at home updating my Facebook group page. If you look at my group page, you'll see how many hours ago I made the entry. That will at least prove I wasn't murdering anyone.
Well, not necessarily, as we can't be that accurate about the time of death. Anyway, you could post something from your phone anywhere, couldn't you?
You're more suspicious than your boss, if that's possible.
Well, the inspector and I, and our boss in fact, all agree you should come into the station voluntarily to be interviewed. I'd really appreciate you doing so voluntarily. Is 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, say?
Do I have a choice?
Unless you want to be arrested, no.
All right then. Hopefully you and your boss will leave me alone to get on with my campaigning.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
My sergeant asked nicely. He told you what we'd do if you didn't cooperate, and we don't make threats we don't keep.
All right, I'll give you what you want. Just stop.
I don't like playing bad cop, Mr. Kelly, but sometimes needs must.
Look, I was the journalist that first broke the story, okay? Because I'm awesome. Then Jenny Harris jumped on a bandwagon and started another campaign group and stood on a milk crate in the city centre shouting her outrage. Then Michael O'Connor reappeared. At least I'm being noticed.
And is anyone helping you with your story?
Well, no, not really. I mean, obviously my editor is my back, but it's been pretty much a one-man show.
So what brought Michael out from the woodwork then, in your opinion?
He told me he wanted to know if, I presume, the house he was planning to buy was near a paedophile priest, to keep his family safe. He said, but then he bought one that was next to a paedophile priest. One of the two whose names he had, and whose addresses I gave. I think he really wanted to know because he was trying to track down a priest who abused him as a child when he was at St. Agnes's. Anyway, I gave him the addresses and told him if he messed up my story, I'd kill him. And I told him to fuck off, basically. Just because he got a good degree, he thinks he's it. Imagine that.
Imagine. And the address of this priest?
45 Riverwood Gardens. Michael's at 43. All right?
Yes, for now. But we'll speak again, Mr. Kelly. Graham leaves, and Declan rings Michael.
Michael, it's Declan. Look, D.I. Flanagan turned up in my office threatening to confiscate everything, so I had to cooperate. And I told him about you. Sorry, I had no choice.
You fucking idiot. Of all the things to tell all the people. I'm telling you, if he starts poking around in my business, you'll be the next body.
Sorry to call unannounced, Mr. O'Connor.
I should fucking think so. I've only just got in.
Who is it?
Detective.
Well, let him in then.
Don't tell me what to... OK, come in, but be quick.
Thank you. Oh, hello. Shona, right?
Yes. Hello.
I saw you at...
Jenny's. Yes.
And you're in her Facebook group?
Yes.
I take it you joined the group out of solidarity with Jenny?
Yes. You can't say no to Jenny.
I can believe that. You know she's working on exposing how the church covers with paedophile priests?
Yes.
Now, Michael, back to you. You wanted to know where the paedophile priest Declan was looking into lived, so he wouldn't end up living next to one.
How did fucking Declan in his big mouth?
And then you bought this house next to one of them.
I knew you knew he was a priest.
I must insist you come to headquarters for an interview.
Or what?
Or you'll be arrested. That's what.
It's true, isn't it, that you've been using your role as an archivist to track down at least one priest?
I just wanted...
Yes or no?
Yes, because I had a house in mind. I needed to know that he wouldn't pose a risk to my family.
Well, if you knew Father Flatty lives at 45 Riverwood Gardens, and you wanted, as you claim, to have kept your family safe, why did you buy 43?
No comment.
Still playing that game, are we?
No comment.
I think he worked at the same school as the dead priest, and you wanted him alive to see his friends dying first.
No comment.
All right, let's try something else. Were you abused as a child by Sean Flatty when he worked at St. Agnes? Because I know you went there.
No comment.
You're a big man with a bad temper and a history of violence, and I believe you killed those priests, even though I can't prove it. But I'm watching you like a hawk, and if at any time I have enough evidence, I will track you down and arrest you for murder. Wait here and a constable will come and escort you out.
Graham and Bob leave the room and hold a brief conversation in the corridor.
Jenny's due in about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, I need a smoke. The church cover-up was alleged. That the priest were paedophiles is alleged.
There's nothing alleged about it.
And you're aware that Fathers O'Shaughnessy and Lane and Bishop Fitzpatrick have all been murdered?
Yes.
And just how friendly are you with Declan Killy?
I admire him. His journalism led to my campaigning spirit before and on this occasion. But we're not having sex or anything. We're just friends.
One final thing, Miss Harris. If the RTE programme contains anything that compromises our inquiries or stops justice being done, they'll be charged, and so will you.
Sinead will let you see it before it's aired.
She'd better. Give us a minute. You know, I've just had a thought.
Treasure that moment, sir.
I think you should call up Father Flaherty. Might enlighten us a little more. I'm going to get a warrant to search Jeremy Dean's study.
Flaherty and Bob are sitting, talking. They have small whiskies.
I shouldn't really.
Well, I won't say anything, Bob.
Thank you for confirming who you are. I really do have a good reason for asking.
Right. What?
Did you know about the recent spate of priest killings?
No. I don't watch television or follow the news, you know.
Fathers Lane and O'Shaughnessy and Bishop Fitzpatrick.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I knew them all. Have you caught...
No.
Am I in danger? Is that why you came to warn me?
I don't know, Father, but you are linked to the others who have been, so, you know.
My neighbour Michael someone or other. He came round the day he moved in. He knew I was a priest. I think he knew when he bought that house. He's been sending his son to stand outside and call me and look through my windows even though I told him I don't like children.
Why don't you like children, if you don't mind me asking?
Doesn't matter. I just don't.
Would you like some protection?
Very much.
I'll see what I can arrange, but I advise you don't open the door to anyone you don't know and be vigilant.
Bob and Florence are dressed up, and Florence is making finishing touches to the dinner table. The doorbell rings and Bob goes to greet Graham, looking reasonably smart and clutching a bottle.
Hello, Bob. Please don't call me sir tonight.
Of course. Graham, come in. Come into the dining room and meet Florence. Don't call her Flo.
Nice to meet you, Graham.
And you. Got you a little something.
Oh, lovely, thank you. And thank you for all your support with Bob's ambition to be an inspector.
No probs. Bob's one of those rare officers who'll actually make a very fine inspector. I've worked with several sergeants over my time with the Garda, and the others have all been complete knobs.
Right, well, dinner's almost ready, and we're going to have some liqueurs afterwards, so long as you're not driving home.
I'm on foot. Better for the planet. I walk everywhere around the city, even along the towpath. I only fell in once.
Graham laughs, and Bob and Florence exchange glances, not knowing if he's joking or not. Jeremy's office is a typical academic study. Piles of folders and papers on a big old desk, shelves full of books, a tatty sofa and a drinks trolley. Sunlight is shining in through the blinds. Graham and Bob are rummaging through papers. Bob is at his desk.
When he gets back, he'll go mental.
He will.
It was kind of you both to have me for dinner.
Sir, I think we've struck gold.
Oh, for feck's sake, can't you leave me in peace for one day?
I see you're having a demonstration this weekend.
Yes, I am. Is that against the law now?
Sadly not, if it's peaceful. But I'm warning you, Miss Harris, if it interferes with our investigation adversely, our guards will stop it and make arrests, including you. Clear?
It might be helpful. Bring more people out of the shadows, like the TV programme will.
Well, if you stay the right side of the law, you'd better make sure it helps.
So, current suspects are Michael O'Connor, Declan Kelly and Jeremy Dean, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And I gather your visit to Jeremy's study was a success?
Oh, yes. A certain person in the Garda at a very senior level, even back in the 1990s, took a payment from Bishop Fitzpatrick to knowingly supply illegal images of naked children for use in his aversion therapy research. We found correspondence and even a few slides.
And who supplied them? And for how much, do we know?
I'll let you tell her, sir. I know you'll want to.
James Maurice. Now Chief Superintendent James Maurice.
Jeremy Dean contacted Maurice on behalf of Bishop Fitzpatrick, who had asked him to experiment on the priests, and he knew he'd need that type of image to couple with the aversion techniques.
Well, this is well above my pay grade. I'll have to take this one to the Commissioner. Well done, both of you. I suggest we keep this bombshell between ourselves for now.
Agreed.
It's the day of Jenny's demonstration on St Stephen's Green. She has a trestle table and a crowd around it. She is handing out placards. Bob and Graham wander over. Graham sidles up to Sinead.
I won't take much of your time, Sinead, just one question. When RT put the feelers out asking for people to contribute to Jenny's documentary, was one of them Jeremy Dean?
Yes, he agreed to tell us exclusively about how he helped the church by using aversion techniques in his dodgy priests.
We asked him and he wouldn't say.
Sorry. Well, offer someone a few minutes of fame and you'll be surprised what will come out.
I wondered if he'd signed an NDA or something.
He had. But because Bishop Fitzpatrick had been killed by then, he felt he could come forward and breach it.
Right, thanks Sinead. Good luck with your filming.
Graham returns to Bob.
He came out of the woodwork after Fitzpatrick was killed as he thought that would nullify the NDA he signed.
Interesting.
Can you ask Declan about the list? I'm going over there for a covert smoke.
Graham slinks away. Bob goes over to Declan.
Declan?
What?
I wonder if I could have a complete list of the priests you plan to name and shame, rather than the edited highlights.
I don't much like your tone, Bob.
And you won't much like a warrant to confiscate your laptop either. Your choice.
Alright. I told Michael about 2 priests. Since then I found more and now I have 10 on my list.
Which one on your list are dead?
Fitzpatrick, O'Shaughnessy and Lane. I also have Flaherty, Monaghan, Burford, Locklear, Kinnear, Carrington and O'Connor. No relation to Michael as far as I know.
Thank you, Declan. Appreciate it.
Do you want me to write?
No need. I've memorised them, but thank you anyway.
Declan wanders off. Bob looks around and sees Jeremy holding a placard. Bob sees Graham returning and goes over to him.
I think I have at least a fuller list now, sir.
Good. And Jeremy hasn't been over whinging about our search.
No.
Jenny's demonstration moves off, everyone shouting out the priests as they snake off onto the main streets. Graham wanders back over and pats Bob on the shoulder.
The names?
Declan had a list of 10, including Flaherty and 6 more not dead yet.
Were they all priests?
Yes. Monaghan, Burford, Locklear, Kinnear, Carrington and O'Connor, who apparently is not related to Michael.
I'd love your power to recall, Bob.
Well, smoke less and drink less.
Oh, don't nag, dear. We need to work out which priest is next and be there before the killer is. Let's go to the pub, have a drink, and have some well-earned rest, eh?
Graham and Danielle are sitting opposite each other. The door opens and James enters, followed by Bob.
We bumped into each other in the corridor.
Bob says the Commissioner wanted to see me. I'm honoured.
The Commissioner enters. Everyone stands.
Sit, please, sit. I'm here on a very serious matter, I'm afraid. I've received evidence which shows that some years ago our then head of Child Abuse Surveillance Department took money to supply indecent images of children that we have confiscated to the psychologists who have been asked to perform aversion therapy on paedophile priests by the church. These images were for internal records only, not for sharing and not for selling. You may well be feeling uncomfortable, Maurice, because you was that person. You are relieved of your command with immediate effect. An internal inquiry will begin, and the matter may result in you being charged and imprisoned. Do you understand? Look at me when I'm talking to you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will now come with me. I must apologise, everyone. I will make sure that our PR department releases a suitable damage limitation statement.
The Commissioner gestures towards the door. James opens the door and leaves, with the Commissioner following. The door closes.
You can dance around the room now, Flanagan, if you want to.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I'll resist the urge. Thanks, ma'am.
Maybe we should swing by Flaherty's house later and visit the other priests on the list as well, just so they know to be cautious.
Michael and Liam pull up in Michael's car. Shona is looking out of the window and sees Michael's car. She sees Michael and Liam sitting in it. She immediately finds Graham's number and calls him.
Flanagan.
Michael and Liam are outside Flaherty's house. Liam's still in his school uniform, so he must have picked him up.
She is still looking out of the window when she sees Declan's car pull up.
And Declan's there too.
We were just on our way over there. Bob's driving. We're only a few streets away.
Shona hangs up. Declan slams his car door and marches towards Flaherty's front door. Enraged, he thumps his fist on the door 3 times. He gets no answer. Again and again he kicks at the door, harder and harder until he smashes it open. Michael notices and purposefully heads in that direction. Shona comes out of the house, sees Liam and beckons him over. He goes over to her and hugs her. They both rush over to follow Michael and Declan in. Declan bursts into Flaherty's front room and rushes over to him, grabs him by the shoulders and throws him to the ground. He squats over his chest, pulls out a handgun and starts ranting at him.
Remember me, do you? One of your special boys.
I'm sorry.
You pedo.
Shona rushes in with Liam in tow. Declan turns round. Shona sees he has a gun and screams. She hugs Liam. Declan points his arm towards the far corner of the room.
Get over there, both of you, or I'll kill you too.
Shona is shaking, but does as he says. Then Declan turns back to Flaherty and shoves his handgun in his mouth. Michael bursts in. He immediately sees Declan ready to kill Flaherty.
Don't you touch him! Don't you fucking pull that trigger! He's mine! You won't deprive me of my vengeance! Now back away!
Fuck off!
Michael pulls out a shotgun and points it at Declan. Shona screams.
Put the gun down or I'll blow your head off!
Declan points his gun towards Shona.
Drop the gun or I shoot Shona!
I'll shoot you before you even get a shot off!
Don't do it, Michael. This isn't the way.
Shut up!
Michael throws his gun at Shona, suddenly realising what he's done. As he heads towards them to get it, Declan turns back to Flaherty. He puts his gun back in his mouth. Michael retrieves his gun from the floor and fires at Declan, shooting him in the head. He dies instantly. Michael rushes over to the priest, shoving Declan's body to the side, and points his gun at Flaherty's head.
Gaze upon this!
With one shot, he brutally ends his life. Just at that moment, Graham and Bob enter with 2 armed officers.
Drop the weapon, Michael. Drop it.
I only killed him. Declan killed the others. He said so. But he couldn't rob me of my closure. We stood in this study together when we were just boys. He said, gaze upon the word of the lordship to me too. He showed me his cock too.
Put the weapon down now.
Michael is sobbing as he sees the armed officers and despairingly tosses his gun.
Michael O'Connor, I'm arresting you for the murders of O'Shaughnessy, Fitzpatrick, Lane and Flaherty, and for attempting to murder a Garda officer, and for possession of an illegal weapon. You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but whatever you say may be taken down in writing and given in evidence. Take him away.
Michael is led away, still sobbing when he screams out at the priest's body.
You stole my childhood! You stole my life!
Danielle arrives and immediately goes over to Shona and Liam. Graham and Bob just stand silently and take in the situation. That evening, Graham and Bob are sitting in a quiet corner of the pub, each with a pint.
I asked Shona if Declan confessed to anything before he died, and she said he didn't. And as Declan's dead, we can't prove otherwise.
Shona doesn't seem the type to commit perjury. Anyway, at least Michael will die in prison. As far as I'm concerned, I got my man. Or should I say, we got our man.
So we did.
And good luck for your inspector exams next week.
Thank you, sir. Cheers.
Sorry, Jenny. Every time I think about Declan,
I know, pet. I know. I'll be here for you.
Flanagan rang this morning. He said Michael would be looking at a very long prison sentence. That's something I'm not sorry about. He could die there for all I care.
And the RTE programme goes out next week, and I'll be a star. They just have to do some reshoots because they don't want Declan in it. And once that goes out, well, my work is done until the next bandwagon comes along.
Graham is talking to the small groups of ducks that have gathered for some bread as he sips some wine.
I still wish people wouldn't keep getting murdered. But at least I know that when they do, and I catch the killers, just for a little while, everything seems right with the world.
You have been listening to Rob Chantler as Graham, Robert Hardy as Bob, Sue Ford as Danielle, Geoff Meddelton as Michael, Philippa Stuart as Jenny, Tom Brierley as Declan, Julie Ledgister as Shona, Nick Steed as James, Maurice Ledgister as the Commissioner, Ron Millinger as Bishop Fitzpatrick, Marion Millinger as Sinead, Ian Whiting as Jeremy, and Rob Chantler as Father Flaherty. This was an audio recording of a spec screenplay for a TV drama. It was written and directed by Rob Chantler and was a Free Theatre Company production.